Welcome to the Period Besties podcast with Stasha and Katie. Think about it as chatting with your best friends about all the TMI stuff you've never talked about before with two period coaches who've been helping hormones collectively for over 20 years now. I'm Stasha.
And I'm Katie, and we're pulling back the curtain on what it's like in the world of menstrual coaching. From puberty to menopause and everything in between, we're here to show you how period coaching can save the day. We'll share practical tips and information you can put to immediate use to improve your hormones and happiness.
We're removing the mystery, ending the taboo, and shining a light on just how powerful period coaching can be.
So whether you need period coaching or are considering becoming a period coach yourself, these episodes are going to help you. We'll share stories, coach live on air, and bring smart, savvy guests to share their wisdom too. Let's start today's episode.
Welcome back, Period Besties. Today we have a really fun episode because we are talking about when did you stop showing your tampons? Like you're in the middle of a date, you need to get up to go to the bathroom. Do you take the tampon? Do you take it out of your purse and walk with it through the restaurant? Do you hide it in your purse? We're going to talk about all of those things today. And as we were talking before we hit record, I was thinking about way back in the day in 6th grade when my mom would not let me wear tampons and only let me wear those like huge maxi pads, the ones with the wings, like literally looks like a diaper, right?
Like a phone book with wings.
Oh my God, it was so wide and big. And anytime I walked, I was like, everyone can hear this. And I remember having to go to the bathroom to change it. Mind you, I had just gotten my period. My period was so light at that time. I did not need that much coverage. I'll just throw it out there. And I was walking down the hallway and I was like, oh my God, I'm trying to hide the big maxi pad in my shorts. I'm also trying to walk really slow so no one can hear me because I could swear I can hear the pad moving in my body, like that squeaky noise. And I think about this all the time. And I was like, Mom, I can't believe you made me go to school like this. Oh, it was just, I remember my face being bright red and like just trying to walk so slow, but also being afraid that I was like bleeding everywhere because I still didn't really understand my flow and my period. And yeah, that was an interesting first story of do I hide it? Do I just show it? Do I just run down the hallway? What do? I was not prepared for myself in 6th grade with this huge ass maxi pad.
Oh my God. And I guess that's not early these days, but in those days, 6th grade was an early start. It was such a late start. It was high school. And I do remember having the thin pads and panty liners like on me all the time because I just didn't know. So I was like, okay, I have to have something on me all the time because I don't know what's going to happen. Like even before I got my period, I think I was in middle school when I started with the liners because now I know you get all that cervical mucus for a while, a couple of years even before you actually get your period. So I just remember thinking, is this my period? Constantly, because everyone else was getting theirs and I hadn't gotten mine yet. And then I finally got it, and then it was an absolute disaster, and I would just pass out and whatnot. Definitely wore pads. I don't even remember. It must have been a dance company thing that ended me into tampons, because I don't really necessarily remember the moment I switched from pads to tampons. But I do remember in high school, I came across this zine. Remember zines? Like the cobbled together, independently made magazines, but they were always like small or weirdly shaped or short. Or I came across one called Blood Sisters, made by a couple of women in Canada that talked about how to make your own cloth pads, herbs to help reduce pain, to help with periods, abortion meds, right? Like herbs that can help you if you suspect you might be pregnant. Or it's the first time I had read about carrot seed being used as a like birth control pill, essentially. Like you could take carrot seed before and after when you were ovulating, and then it could help prevent pregnancy because it would make the womb slippery, like it would keep an egg from implanting in the wall properly. So it's really interesting. I don't know how, I have no idea how. I still have it to this day. It's at my house on my bookshelf, like this bright fluorescent pink. And it's funny because it's stapled together backwards. So it starts with the second half of the book and then the first half, because they just put it together and stapled it, but they stapled it backwards. So it's like the back half is the first half and then the second half is the first half. It's so funny, but I still have it. And I remember thinking about the cloth pads. And so I switched over to cloth pads and tampons. So I would use tampons when I was dancing. If I was at ballet company or like a modern competition or something, I would use those. Or swim. I was on the varsity swim team because it gave me access to the weight room and I needed the weight room for legs for the dance. Like a roundabout way.
I can see you swimming though. You've got those long arms, long legs.
I swam the fly. It was not my favorite, but no one else. There was only like 2 people that could do it. And I couldn't do it well, but I could do it. So I was like the backup person for the fly. I was not very good at it, but I could do it. And then, yeah, so I used tampons for that. And then I switched over to cloth pads. They had a place you could order them from, and they had the instructions to sew your own. And I think I might have sewn a few myself, and then I also ordered. So I switched over to cloth pads because I hated the disposable ones. I felt like I got diaper rash every month. I always felt itchy and sweaty and swampy, and I hated them. But I also wasn't a huge fan of tampons. I felt a lot like tampons were ripping my insides out. Now, partially that's true. Like they do cause cuts and contusions within the vaginal walls. So I know partially that's true, but also unless it's like thoroughly saturated, so you really need to be like even maybe one under what you need so that it doesn't give you that feeling, which not a thing. So when I went to college, I roomed with somebody who I'm friends with to this day who was not transitioning yet, but he would get his period, and because of the body dysmorphia, he used a menstrual cup and had found out because the ballerinas used them and had learned, right? Because it was a theater school and he was stage management. So at the time, it was a really interesting thing where he was like, yeah, I'm using these menstrual cups. It really helps with the body dysmorphia. It keeps, because then I don't have to have feminine products in the house. And the keeper had just a brown rubber cup. It was the only cup that existed at the time. So I switched over to the keeper in 2000. I think I was a sophomore in college when we roomed.
Really adapter.
Yeah, it was great. It might have even been 99. But anyway, it was right there on the millennium cusp that I switched over to a cup. And that was like, I didn't have to hide a tampon anymore because I could just wear a cup all day. So it was like, and my flow lightened up when I switched from tampons to cups. So I went from having to change a tampon a couple of times a day to I could pop that cup in the morning and I could just take it out at night. And then I could put on a cloth pad and then I was done. So I really adopted away from the disposables quickly, but I still to this day carry a tampon in my purse in case of a woman in need, in case somebody needs one. So I still will buy them, one little small pack every couple of years, basically until, boy, these are really expired. And then I'll buy another like 3-pack and I just keep it in my purse in case somebody needs one in a restroom or something somewhere.
Oh my God, I have tampons all over the place. I have them in the car. I found one in a random drawer the other day and I was like, why is there a tampon in here? I'm like, oh, it must have been in my purse. I must have taken it out, put it in the drawer. It's funny. So if you come to my house, you'll probably randomly find tampons in random drawers. But I quickly begged my mom to not. I was like, I'm not going to school ever again if you make me wear this big maxi pad.
Nice.
So, and I wasn't getting regular periods yet in 6th grade. I think it was, I was also a year older than most of my friends in 6th grade. So I was the first of my friends to get their period. So nobody And I was embarrassed. I was like, I don't have anyone to talk to. None of my friends are going through this. My mom barely talked to me about it. I was begging her because I'm like, I refuse to go to school when I have my period if you make me do this ever again. I was so upset about it. So I think switching to the very light tampons, the very slender, kind of skinny ones. I've been using tampons ever since. I've tried different things. I've done the period underwear. I've tried the cup. I've tried 2 different cups now. And for whatever reason, I cannot find one that I really like.
Yeah.
And you were telling me about the disc, right? That I feel
Yeah.
like I need to try. And then post having kids, I've just gone back to tampons. I'm doing like the as organic and clean and as well as I possibly can. But I don't know. It's like this big mental thing in my head where I'm like, okay, I'm 46. I only have a few more years.
Let me just get through this.
Let's get through this. Let's just use the organic tampons. But in terms of hiding it, I feel like it was probably my mid 30s, late 30s, where I was finally like, I don't even care who sees this. I think when my husband and I got together too, and he would be at the store, he's, oh, do you need anything? I'm like, oh yeah, grab me some tampons. And he now knows which ones to buy. And when he sees them on sale, he's, oh, I'm just going to grab a few just because they're on sale. You have them. I know, it's awesome. So I think having that type of relationship, because I didn't grow up like that. I feel like 80s and 90s, everybody hid everything. You don't share. You just try to, especially in New England.
Yeah.
New England's a very Puritan, like
very
old
repressed.
school, very repressed. Nobody hugs. I'm the hugger of the group. None of my friends hug. And I'm like, let's hug. I've known you my whole life. Give me a hug. It's just growing up like that. So I think it wasn't until I was in a relationship and obviously we got married and now have kids. My kids walk in I have no privacy. So I'm going to the bathroom. And when I have my period, they're like, oh, mommy has her period. We talk about it. I explain it. I don't know how much they're actually understanding any of it, which is fine. But everybody knows. Or if I'm like, oh, mommy has her period, it's really loud. So I feel like almost in a way, getting older, having kids, and even just like sharing that experience with my family now, I don't really hide it anymore because I feel like once I had twins and I was after birth naked and just laying in a bed, like I just have no qualms about anything. I'm just like, whatever, I will. And I'm always been an open book, but I feel like the tampon thing might have been the last thing I was secretly putting in my pants instead of just taking it out and just going into the bathroom.
Yeah, I think mine was a rebellion. I think mine was because I had such bad periods, and then in high school, people were like, okay, it was 90s. It was like, ew, TMI, like Super Valley girl. And I think mine came in maybe in college or mid 20s, where I was like, you know what? The fact that I have to hide what's going on for your emotional safety is over. And I just got real bold and real obvious about it. But I didn't really have tampons necessarily to hide so much after I quit dancing because I still use the cup, but you still go back and forth between the two. And yeah, I have the same thing. The cups were never terribly comfortable, but they were better than tampons for me. Like it was a lesser of two evils. They weren't necessarily comfortable, but they didn't make me feel like my insides were being ripped out like the tampons were doing to me. So it didn't work out well for me. But I know we're going to do a podcast episode on alternatives. It's on our topic wish list. I don't know when it's going to happen, but we'll dive into it there. But I will say to anyone who's listening, if you want to stop using tampons, go to the Put a Cup in It quiz. I think it's just .com at that point. But even if you just Google Put a Cup in It quiz, they have this like long questionnaire. It's not crazy long, but it was longer than I was like, it's probably like 3 questions. I was like, oh, actually, there's a little bit more there. But it's good because it gives you like 3 or 5 suggestions on a cup that would probably work best for you. And when you mentioned it, I'm wondering if they've started to include discs in there too, because they're also really a good alternative for people. But yeah, I'm a period underwear person now, and they just hang around the house. But even in my 20s, I was living with a gay man in New York, and I used to just hang my cloth pads up in the bathroom. He would bring me pillows to the bathroom when I had a bad period because he just knew I wasn't leaving. He would bring me like a glass of wine, pillows, tea, whatever I wanted.
Oh my God. It's funny because I lived with two boys the last few years I lived in New York, and one of my roommates was so squeamish. Oh my God. I remember one time, sometimes you're like taking your tampon off out and a little drop of blood might get on the seat.
Yeah.
And he was so mortified and was like, Katie, I don't know what's going on in there, but there is blood on the toilet seat. And I was like, oh, yeah, I have my period. I'll go clean it. Sorry, I didn't notice. And he grew up with sisters, his mom. And I'm like, he was mortified. And I feel bad for him because hopefully he got over it by now. But I was like, oh, yeah, it's fine. I'll clean it. I'm like, don't worry. I'll spray it down. It's not a big deal. Nothing bad's happening.
Yeah.
But so I love that your roommate brought you pillows and wine and was just like loving on you.
Yeah. Bless him. He was a lovely human being. He still is a lovely, he's invented the wedding. He's a lovely human
Oh,
being.
I can't wait to meet him.
Hopefully we'll see him.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Well, I would say too about the cup when I was using it, I would put it in and out in the shower because it made me feel
Yes.
more comfortable.
Yeah.
So that was also really helpful. I don't know what it is. I was always just worried about being out in public and not being able to change it. That was always my anxiety around it. Now that I'm dealing with my anxiety, I wonder if it would be a little better now trying it. But I also love period underwear. I wear it at night. I don't really like to sleep with a tampon. It's too long of time personally. And also it doesn't feel as comfortable when I'm sleeping. I love period underwear. I've been wearing period underwear for, my God, over 10 years now. I need a new good pair though. I feel like the ones I have are getting, I need to switch them out. Like
I've been thinking I need to get a pair that are like the outside of it is like peach or white or something. Because I was like, what if I have my period during wedding events and all I have are like the black period underwear?
yeah.
And I don't really like to use anything internal. Like I haven't used an internal in easily a decade, if not 20 years. Like it's been a long time since I've used anything internally, aside from maybe like an emergency situation. But I don't have, since I started charting, it's not like I have, surprise periods anymore.
Oh, interesting. Do they sell them like in lighter? Oh,
They do. I started looking. I did a little Google searching while I was stuck in the airport, and I was looking at some of them because I was like, I think I should just get at least one pair just in case for.
Yeah, I would.
Because there's so many events, the showers and the dinners and everything. So I was like, I think I should probably get a pair of light colored ones because something's gonna happen.
It's so funny because I was talking to my friends at the gym this morning and they were talking about the girls softball team and how all the girls are synced. So they're all getting their period the same time, but their pants are white. And I was like, oh, they need period underwear. And they're like, yeah, but it's all black. So I'm going to go back and tell them to Google because it's white or peach or
there's like the whole like from white to black flesh tones. So no matter what your ethnicity is, you can find something that's like kind of close. I haven't seen them. I don't know the companies, I don't know the brands, and I don't know how good any of them are. But I did start looking just color based and was like, okay, there's options. All right.
Okay, cool. I'm going to let them know tomorrow because we were talking about that. Because I was like, oh God, like they need period underwear.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, and I do love the young generations are just don't care and just are so like blazing and out about it. I think it's amazing. I think it's so good. It's such a good sign that all this work we've been doing has come somewhere. Like you can actually see the change, which boy, it feels so good after 15 years of doing this work. And you start to see the younger generations who are not hiding, right? They're not being subtle about it. They're talking about it. They're much more open about it. And
they're taking days off from work because of it. I've looked back at my first job in New York City. And if I had called out because I got my period, my boss would have fired me on the spot because she was like so old school about everything. And now it just feels like the tides are turning and it's just as it should have been all along. I should never have had to hide the fact that I have my period, right? Even my friends with girls, they're not girls anymore, they're teenagers. It's so crazy. They're calling me and they're asking me questions and they're so proud that they got their period and they're talking about it and they're talking to like their boyfriends about it. And we were at a restaurant and My friend's daughter was just talking loudly about it. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I would never have ever talked to my mom or my mom's friend in a crowded restaurant about my period. And I was like, good for you. So I feel like she's not hiding her tampons or whatever she's using. I don't really know what she's using at this point, but her mom's also loud and bold, which is why we're friends. But it's pretty cool that she's having these conversations with her friends. So again, I felt so alone. And now, whether your friend's having their period or not yet, they're talking about it. It's just so cool. So for everyone listening, I want to hear, are you hiding your tampon still? And or when did you just say F it? I don't even care. I'm a woman and I'm having my period and I'm just going to get up from my office desk and go to the bathroom and carry it and who cares?
Yeah. Yeah, I want to hear the stories too. And we're going to do some storytelling this year in some future episodes. So send us your stories. If you want to send a little video clip of the story too, send it. We'd love to have it because we may use it in some of the compilation episodes later in the
That'd be a
year.
good idea.
Yeah, so send us your stories. You can just email or DM, but also feel free to slide a video in because we're going to use some stories down the line this summer. So definitely feel free to send us those too. I'm really interested to hear.
Yeah. And I would say if you have a really good story, we'll have you on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're
Like,
going to
let
need
us
people
know.
over the summer to tell us period stories. So if you have period
Yeah.
stories and you want to pop on the podcast, let us know and we'll set up a time to have you on and chat.
Yeah. I just wonder, next time I'm out and about, I'm just going to look around and see what's going on at the restaurant. Or I'm going to just start talking to my friends locally too and just ask them, like, what are you doing? Are you hiding your tampons? Are you wearing tampons? What are you wearing?
Yeah.
How are you doing this? Especially my friends that have kids. Like, I'm curious to see, like, my best friend, Megan, we talk about this all the time because her kids, she has 2 boys as well. And she's, oh, yeah, they know everything about my body. They follow me everywhere. It's fine when we talk about it. But I wonder if other people are having these conversations too.
I have a friend with 2 boys, and her boys love to get her foot massages during her period. They asked her what would help, and they were very little at the beginning because she has pretty bad periods. And she was like, "Oh, you could give mommy a rub," because they were young. They were, I don't know, maybe 3. They were little. And so she was just trying to think of something that wouldn't bother her, wouldn't make it worse, that kind of thing, keep them occupied. But they've grown up and they got to be like 6 or 7 when I was visiting. She's in Australia. And they were like, "Oh, mom, let me know when you're your period. We'll get the foot rubs going." They were very cute and really sweet about it. And they were like looking forward to spending the time with mom and relaxing and watching videos and giving her a little foot rub and stuff.
God, I love that.
Yeah, I know that there's definitely moms, boys and girls, who have really had those conversations. And then I have a couple of friends that I've talked to their girls. So
Yeah.
I've Zoomed with 3 or 4 of my friends' kids now over the years to have those conversations. And I have a couple of friends who have messaged me and been like, "Well, the kids are getting older. I think you should be on standby." So it's good. And I love to see that people are having those conversations. And I love to see that they're putting it out there and they're giving them options and things that are comfortable for them. And we're not doing the phone book pad as your only option anymore.
Thank God that I can still, like,
You know,
my
me
whole body
too.
just goes back to that moment being like,
I know, me too. I can still feel that swampy diaper rash
oh
feeling of the
God.
pads. I hate it so much. That's one of the reasons I really liked cloth pads and period underwear because it
Yeah.
never gave me that diaper rash feeling, which now knowing that there's like the equivalent of 4 plastic bags and pads, disposable pads, even tampons have plastic in them. So it's,
Yeah.
oh, that makes sense to me. That that feeling makes sense to me now.
100%.
Yeah. Amazing. All right. So send us your stories. Let us hear about it. We want to know, how are you hiding? Have you stopped hiding? What was your coming out moment?
when you didn't give enough anymore.
That's right. Let us know. And yeah, we look forward to hearing everyone's stories, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Besties, we have a really fun giveaway coming up for you. You can win the book Metabolism Repair for Women, Sweetening the Pill, Bloody Brilliant Business, My Hormone Recipe Book, plus Thrive Market, a free box of goodies, a membership for an entire year, and a spot in our fall perimenopause workshop. You don't want to miss this.
It's so good. Thank you. Big shout out to Laura Bryden for donating, Thrive Market, Holly Griggs Spall. So excited to have everyone who donated to this giveaway. So the rules for the giveaway are that you're going to have to go to Instagram. You have to be following Katie and I both. So go to Katie Bressack and at Stasha Washburn for our Instagrams. Depending on when you're listening to this, look for the post in early May, and it will have giveaway on the very first photo, and then we'll have some photos of the goodies that you'll be winning. You're going to want to comment on that post, and when you tag friends, each tag is an entry. So follow along and comment on the post, you get an entry. Each tag of a friend after that gives you an extra entry to win. And then register for the upcoming book launch party for my book, Bloody Brilliant Business, and we'll be announcing the winner at the book launch party. So you're going to want to register for the book launch party. All of your entries will get tagged up. We'll do a randomized draw for the winner at the book launch party, and then we'll announce it there. All the details will be on Instagram under that post as well. So head over to Instagram, check out either one of us to find the post, and then pop your information on there.
A big shout out and thank you to our sponsors for today's episode, Period Coaching School and Katie Bressack Wellness.
Thanks to you, our favorite bestie, for listening to the Period Besties podcast, where no topic is TMI. And of course, share this episode with your besties.
Remember to leave us a 5-star review, nothing less than the best for us besties, and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
You can follow us on Instagram at Stasha Washburn and at Katie Bressack, or email us at periodbestiespodcast@gmail.com.
Check out more about us at katiebressack.com and periodcoachingschool.com. And of course, check the show notes for free goodies and extras that support this episode.
We'll see you on the next episode.
Bye for now, besties.